大家好，欢迎来到跟陈老师学汉语。第11课，现在几点？这节课我们先要学习3个短的汉语对话，然后我们会学习点、分、钱等关于时间的短语和词汇。最后是阅读练习。第一个对话，现在几点？现在10点10分。我们中午几点吃饭？我们12点吃饭。现在 it's a noun, means now. 点 this character has several meanings. In this conversation, it's a measure word, means a clock. 分 also has several meanings. In this conversation, it's a measure word, means minute. 中午 it's a noun, means noon. 吃饭 it's a verb, means to eat a meal. The character 吃 is a verb itself, means to eat. 饭 it's a noun, means meal. Together, 吃饭 to eat a meal or to have a meal. In the first sentence, 几 literally it means how many. 点 it means o'clock. So literally the first sentence means now how many o'clock? That doesn't make sense in English, right? But that's how we express what is the time in Chinese. Please memorize it. How we answer 几点 is pretty simple. We just say the time itself. Here, the Chinese sentence means now 10 past 10. You can also add the verb 是 into the sentence. It is also a correct sentence. 是 here is used to indicate something equals something. Literally, the Chinese sentence means now is 10 past 10. In Chinese, 现在 now can be used as the subject. It's different compared with English. In English, you use it to replace now. So remember the difference. The third sentence is talking about things that will happen in the future. In the English sentence, we use a model auxiliary, shall plus verb, to express the future tense. But here, in the Chinese sentence, we don't have an auxiliary verb. Then how do we know it is about things that will happen in the future? In Chinese, we put the future time in the sentence so that we understand it is something that will happen in the future. Like in this sentence, we know it is 10 past 10 now from the context, and the person A mentioned that time 中午 noon, which is an hour later. So we know it's talking about things that will happen in the future. The last sentence is the same. Person B also mentioned 12 o'clock, which is the future time. Then we know it's the thing that will happen in the future. This is one way to express the future tense in Chinese. And also, we have other ways to express things that will happen in the future. There are also auxiliary verbs in Chinese, and we'll learn them in the future lessons. Another point is that the word order is different compared with English. In Chinese, we put the time after the subject and before the verb, but in English sentences, we put time at last. I'll make a separate video about word order in Chinese. I'll leave the link in the descriptions down below. Please do check it out. 第二个对话， 爸爸什么时候回家？下午5点。我们什么时候去看电影？6:30。时候 it's a noun means time or moment. 回 it's a verb. It means to come back, to go back, or to return. 我们 it's a pronoun means we. 电影 it's a noun means film, movie. In the first sentence, 什么 means what. 时候 means time. Literally, 什么时候 means what time. In English, we say when or at what time, but usually we say when. The English translation of the first sentence is, when will father come home? We know it's something that will happen in the future by the auxiliary verb will. But in the Chinese sentence, we know it's something that will happen in the future from the context. Through the order of asking the question with 什么时候 when in Chinese is different compared to the English sentence. As always, let's look at the answer of the question. The whole answer should be 爸爸下午5点回家. In the Chinese sentence, we put the time after the subject and before the verb. So now, when we ask a question, we just replace the time by 什么时候. Then it becomes a question. And the third sentence is based on the same grammar. Again, I would like to mention that Chinese verbs has no conjugation. No matter it is something happened in the past, or happening right now, or will happen in the future, they never change. 第3个对话，我星期一去北京。你想在北京待几天？3天。你星期五前能回家吗？能。待 is a verb, means to stay. 前 has several meanings. In lesson 10, we've learned one of the meanings of 前, which is front. In this conversation, it means before. 北京 is the capital city of China. Now we'll learn how do we express time in Chinese. 请跟我读9点、11点、14点。点 means o'clock. If the time is a complete hour, we just say the number plus 点, just like what we say it in English. 5点30分 11点10分 2点05分 If the time is not a complete hour, in Chinese, we have to say the unit out. So the structure is the number plus 点 followed by the number plus minute. In English, in this case, you don't say the unit out. You just say two numbers. 5点30分 In English, it's 5:30. 11点10分 In English, it's 11:10. 2点05分 In English, it's 2:05. You may ask, can I do the same in Chinese? The answer is no. There is a special point here. When the hour is 2, like in the sixth one, we don't say 2点, we say 2点. Actually, whenever you mention the quantity of something and the quantity is 2, you should say 2 plus measure word. You cannot say 2 plus measure word. In other cases, like when you count 1, 2, 3, you should say 1, 2, 3, and you cannot say 1, 2, 3. This is a pretty unique point in Chinese. Please memorize it. 上午8点，下午3点10分，下午5点25分。AM in the morning, PM in the afternoon. In Chinese, 上午 means in the morning, 下午 means in the afternoon. And in Chinese, we put 上午 and 下午 in the beginning, then followed by the time. It's different compared with English. Okay, that's all about how to express time in Chinese. Time used as an adverbial. 请跟我读这些句子。妈妈6点做饭。李老师上午8点去学校。我星期一去北京。When time are used as an adverbial. In English, you can put it at the last of a sentence, but in Chinese, we put it after the subject and before the verb. In English, you can also put the time in the beginning of a sentence. And in Chinese, it's the same. You can also put it in the beginning of a sentence. 请跟我读这3个句子。7点我吃饭。中午12点我们回家。下午5点他们去看电影。Okay, pretty easy, right? Now, let's learn the noun 前。请跟我读下面这些短语。3天前。1个星期前。5个月前。2点前。星期六前。中午前。前 has several meanings. It can be front, like we learned in previous lessons. In this lesson, we'll learn its 2 other meanings. First, it means ago. Second, it means before. I believe you may get confused. All of the phrases are about time. Why it means ago in the first 3 phrases, and why it means before in the rest of the 3 phrases. That's a good question. Let me explain. When a period of time is mentioned, 前 must be translated into ago. And when a specific time is mentioned, then 前 must be translated into before. Here are some examples of how do we use 前。请跟我读。你什么时候去学校？8点前。你什么时候回北京？星期六前。你星期五前能回家吗？能。 阅读练习，请跟我读。现在几点？他们几点吃饭？他们什么时候吃饭？爸爸什么时候回家？他们什么时候去看电影？他们去哪儿？他们什么时候回家？他上午10点在学校看书。妈妈中午12点去商店买水果。他工作很忙，星期六上午11点也工作。他上午不喝茶，下午喝茶。Okay, that's all for this lesson. 谢谢，下节课再见。If you like my video, please do give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel.